Welcome back to the house edition. So this morning, we're going to get set up to do the shower enclosure. I've got the instructions here and I've been looking over them, and it looks pretty straightforward. It's basically just these two track pieces that go on either side, and then I'll have to do two cuts. The bottom piece, which will just get bedded in silicone, and then the top track piece, which will then just get set on top of these two tracks, and the glass doors just dangle from those, and then just the hardware. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is there's pilot holes drilled in this track. So I'm just going to get this plumb level, and then I'll drill holes through into the actual shower enclosure. And then from that point, the instructions say to use these anchors, but I know there's framing behind here. So I'm going to see first if I can use the screws provided and go directly into the framing. If not, I'll have to drill oversized holes and I'll put anchors in. Okay, so I got these screws and I'm going to see if they're long enough to make it through into the wood. Seems okay. Some may call me crazy for hand screwing this, but I've just seen some things go terribly wrong with installs, especially when you use some of this hardware and you just don't know the quality of it. I've done that shower door kit that came with hardware, and we were using a drill and it just torqued and bent the screw completely, so I can stomach just using a little bit of elbow grease. Okay, so the center screw goes into this kind of separator piece, and you can see that it'll just kind of align the glass panels, I'm just assuming. Okay, we're looking good. Now we'll just repeat the process on the other side. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm going to move on to actually setting the bottom track. We'll just measure it, and then we'll at least dry fit it to make sure everything looks tight. Maybe like 54 1/8 light. Okay, let's go cut the piece. There we go, perfect. I guess now I'm just going to open the silicone and I'll put the bead on. I'll just fill this groove all the way with the silicone, and that is basically what's going to hold it down and seal it. I need to put this sealant strip in here, and it'll be much easier to do before I actually silicone it. Flush that side, and I'll just trim this to length with a knife. Now that'll just kind of create a little water seal when the door rides against it, I can only assume. Now, we're going to install the silicone. Okay, so I can't lie. When I measured and cut the bottom piece, I actually cut this piece as well. And I think this is going to work, so let's try it out. Okay, looks like this is going to work. So I need to use these clips, and that'll actually slide in and hold the bracket down to the metal track. So I'll give you a close-up of how this will work. Basically, I'll drill a hole, and this will be held down to this other piece of track by a little screw right in that hole. I'm going to make sure that it clears with this spacer piece for the bottom track. It will work. It says on the instructions to do it the other way, but I just don't see how you can do it. You have to put this one on first because it swings in. Okay, at this point, now that the doors are in, I just need to install this spacer piece. And these grooves just keep the doors aligned properly. Here's the bar kit. Has like a little bit of a towel bar on the outside. And inside it just has these kind of fingertip rings that it mounts to. I guess for the clearance, so. Now I'll go ahead and silicone it out, and that'll seal it off, and it'll basically be complete. Shower kit. That's finished. Alright, so I'm not out of the bathroom just yet. I'm going to hang this towel ring over here between the cabinet and the mirror. And then I have these two towel bars. They're going to go one high and one lower. Feels good. Okay, I got all the towel bars installed. And check it off the list. In the next clip, I'm going to be focusing on trying to set up the HVAC inspection. So they come and look at the ducts, and because there's no return in the room, they just make sure that the door is cut up a certain amount so the air can flow out of the room. So that should be a pushover inspection. I want to use some of the remaining foam board I had from underneath the addition to make up an attic hatch cap. For over here in the hallway, the existing set of stairs they have going into the attic. And I'm going to layer the pieces of foam board with glue, and then I'll wait till the following day, and I can set it in top, and it'll kind of be an air break, and it'll give some insulated value. Plus, it's a lot cleaner than actually using a piece of bad insulation. So other than that, I need to order a screen for the one window in the triple window here in the main bedroom area, because I just assumed they would have that on the shelf. So I tossed the damaged screen when it came in. So I'll just have to order one, and then when that comes in, I'll toss it in. That's a really easy fix. I'm not sure how the final inspections are going to work out. The electrical final, the inspector has made a little bit of a hiccup for us where he wants me to revise my construction drawings just to reflect, because what we actually built was slightly different than the drawings. And he just wants it changed to reflect. So I have to change the drawing, go down to the jurisdiction, and resubmit that for the permit so they have the revised drawing. After a couple changes for the electrical related items, he'll pass the electrical final. Then all we need is a building final, so that should be easy. That shouldn't be anything involved in that. Usually they just come and make sure you have all your trade inspections, and that's it. So hopefully it works out that way. After this electrical final, I'm really hoping. So, like I said, I hope you'll join me in the next clip where it's probably the last day that I'm actually working on the job site. So I hope you join me then.